to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. And then can we have a roll call? And then we'll put a fruit here, so. Just on the roll. I can do it. Oh, Jessica's here. Okay.
Supervisor Jones?
Here.
Trustee Morgan?
Here.
Trustee Bonner?
Here.
Trustee Lynch?
Here.
Administrator Rizzo?
Here.
Department heads, Marie?
Here.
Bridget Lyon?
Here.
Kathy Savini?
Here. All right. Do we have any public participation? Let's see any. Moving on, Oakton Educational Foundation. Feel free to adjust the microphone.
Good evening, all, and thank you for having me, granting me the opportunity to share the impact your support has made and hopefully will continue to make at Oakton College. My name is Lindsay Icciardo, and I serve as Senior Manager of Corporate and Foundational Relations at Oakton College Educational Foundation, which is the philanthropic arm of Oakton College. I'm here this evening to present Oakton College's request for $25,000 towards the Maine Township Scholarship Fund established by Maine Township trustees in 2024. But first, allow me to provide a few updates from this past year at Oakton. Just last month, we celebrated the opening of the Health Careers Education Center in Evanston, our first physical presence in the city. Built in partnership with Endeavor Health, this new facility features state-of-the-art classrooms and labs for programs in cardiac sonography, radiography, and surgical technology. Students train alongside professionals, complete clinical rotations, and have direct pathways into well-paying jobs in healthcare. For students, it is an education that leads directly to stability. And for the community, it's a pipeline of much-needed healthcare workers. Sorry, I'm very pregnant right now. I run out of breath very easily. Last fall, we opened the Learning Commons at our Ray Hartson campus in Skokie, and will soon open another Learning Commons on our Des Plaines campus, which is our main campus. It's a one-stop hub that brings together tutoring, testing, disability resources, student services, technology support, and our library. We would love to host the Maine Township trustees at the dedication of this new space in January. In April of this year, we officially launched the Research, Innovation, and Creative Engagement Center, otherwise known as the Rice Center. The center empowers students, especially those historically excluded from research, to pursue hands-on projects, public speaking, and creative work. It's also home to a fellowship program where we have up to 10 students each year who get to receive stipends to conduct faculty-mentored research or creative projects. In the academic year 2024-2025, 8,469 students from Maine Township were enrolled at Oakton College. Last year, Maine Township generously granted $17,600 that went on to benefit 9 Maine Township scholars, which provided critical funding and resources for them on their path towards academic completion and success. 100% of these funds directly supported tuition, books, and academic fees for those seeking an Oakton education. One scholarship student shared with us their gratitude for their scholarship, saying, "I am very grateful and honored for being selected to receive the Maine Township Scholarship. This scholarship made the difference of being able to attend school full-time versus part-time. The financial help allowed me not only to pay for the courses, it helped me not have to work as many hours to afford school, so I could devote that time to my studies." Oakton truly is the community's college. Our students reflect the community that we serve. Oakton's 46,000 credit and non-credit students represent all ages, 55 nations, and a wide range of different experiences. More than half come from a minority background, bringing a wealth of perspective to campus. And the average age of a Soton student is actually 26 years old, meaning that we serve young adults, parents, and career changers alike. Oakton strives to remain accessible. In fact, our tuition has remained at $136.25 per credit hour for the past several years. We also face the reality of the hardships of our students. In our district, nearly 30% of our households earn less than $50,000 a year, and 11% live below the poverty line. I know that Maine Township's grant program touches organizations doing critical work addressing hunger, housing insecurity, childcare needs, and more. This work is also central to the mission of Oakton College. A critical role on the college's team are our care coordinators, who function like social workers. They help students navigate hunger, housing insecurity, and lack of transportation. We also host caring closets on both our Des Plaines and Skokie campuses, where students can access food, personal hygiene items at no cost. This fall semester, we piloted a transportation program providing deeply discounted Lyft rides to students coming to or leaving Oakton's campuses. Many of our students balance jobs, family, and bills, and college is often the first thing sacrificed when resources run thin. Despite that, they persist because they believe education is the key to building a better life. That's where support from strong partners like Maine Township makes a real difference in the lives of our students. Your help allows our students to become the nurses in our hospitals, the teachers in our classrooms, the entrepreneurs in our chambers of commerce, and the leaders in our communities. Maine Township's commitment to Oakton helps ensure every student who walks through our doors has the opportunity to succeed. Thank you.
Thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Comments?
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Our next meeting is
Good evening, everyone. My name is Letitia Ferrito with Wings, and I am the Director of Grants. Tonight, I would like to start with the story, and I will have changed the name to protect, obviously, their confidentiality. And typically, I'm not able to say that this is from wherever I might be speaking, but this is actually from a Maine Township resident. And I just want to let you know, so through our hospital program in the northwest suburbs, Jane had spent over 20 years in a domestic violence marriage, a relationship that, as she stated, was filled with physical, sexual, mental, emotional, and financial abuse. She had been made to believe that it was somehow tied to love. Jane recalled with great fear she had reached out to Wings Hospital program, where she received more than she could have ever expected. At that time, she expressed that she found her family, she found her safety, and she learned skills that would carry her forever. She said that she has now learned how to set boundaries and identify red flags in relationships, adding that she encouraged anyone reading the story that I'm reading to you tonight to not suffer in silence, and that there is always hope and there's always healing. I think it's really important to always start with the story when possible, because that is why I do what I do. My job as the grant writer is to make sure that you know who we're serving with the funds that you provide us. For over 40 years now, Wings has been able to provide emergency shelter through its 2 safe houses, one in Northwest Cook County, one in the city of Chicago. And once they are able to graduate from the emergency shelter, we then have 162 units of housing options. Of course, there are transitional, which is provided as shared or through independent. Also our permanent supportive houses, which they're allowed to stay indefinitely. And then of course the rapid rehousing, which is again up to 24 months. Those are all services that your housing options that your residents are available to receive. while they are in your resident, as in any of our programs, they're eligible to receive any of our integrative services, which are just from the daily basic needs that some of us might just take for granted, which is food and clothing and over-the-counter medicine, transportation to the Jewel or whatever it might be, or to make an appointment. To also then go a step further to accessing mainstream benefits such as SNAP and Medicare and unemployment, to accessing counseling. Since November of 23, Wings opened the Foglia Family Resource Center, which has provided your residents and the rest of our population adult and children's counseling in our residential homes of those 2 safe houses and the 162 units, but also through the community. It's a community-based facing counseling center. It has been incredible, the stories that we've already seen and served since November of 23. Prior to then, we relied on, as maybe some other agencies do, on master level interns because it was more cost effective and we weren't at that level of growth. But now we have a team of 6 adult counselors, and that just really kind of, I think, tells the story of where our clients and your residents are. And so I just want to continue to say thank you for your over 30 years of support. In this past year, as we stated in our application, I'm certain that we provided over 199 hours of counseling services to your residents alone, and that we provided 114 nights of emergency shelter. We also have other services that your clients may participate in, such as the Survivor Lifeline, which is the Survivor Lifeline is where we take someone who maybe such as Jane Doe, once she's graduated from our program and she's received all the tools that she needs to have in her tool belt to be on the other side of her abuse, where she can help someone that's in the thick of it and walk through it with them. Because I've said this before to other populations or to other guests, that regardless of how trained our staff are, no one knows what those shoes look like and how those shoes walk except for a survivor. So we initiated Survivor Lifeline as a project in 2021, and since then it's grown into a full-blown program in the Northwest County and in the city of Chicago. And as you can tell, I keep referencing both geographic areas. Wings has been in the Northwest County for 40 years, but we've been continuously expanding our services in the city of Chicago because unfortunately it's just the need is there. So with that, I just want to express our thank you. I know that last year you guys were, the township was generous enough to increase our funding, and we we don't need to be shy, so we have asked for a modest increase this year of $10,000. However, we are also understanding and realistically understand that everyone's purse strings are tight. So please note that as you're making these decisions tonight and as you go forward through the season, if for some reason we're not able to maintain where we're at, or we have to take a dip, the services to your residents will not alter. So I just want to say thank you again, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
I do have one question. Are your residential homes in Maine Township? You have housing? Or
We do have housing, and we do not have any homes currently in the Maine Township area. They are in like Palatine, Schaumburg, Rolling Meadows. We do have a home in Lake County, and we do have one in Park Ridge. We do, I'm sorry, I keep going. Yes, we do have one in the Park Ridge area. Okay. All right, thank you. Yes, sir.
Does the company have a physical address location? You've got a P.O. box listed.
Of course, our main office is 5104 Tollview in Rolling Meadows.
Thanks.
No problem. All right, thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next guest is Amherst Independence.
My name is Stephen Cray, and I'm the president and CEO at Avenues Independence. I've been with Avenues for 15 years. I worked in our residential department for the first 13 years, helping adults with developmental disabilities that live in Maine Township in group homes take advantage of the great community that Maine Township has to offer. Avenues provides services to adults with developmental disabilities. We provide residential and vocational services. So we have 7 group homes located in Park Ridge and Des Plaines, and those are home to 50 residents currently. We also provide employment services, helping individuals with developmental disabilities obtain and maintain employment in our community. And we have 40 individuals in that program currently that are either seeking employment or receiving assistance in maintaining their employment in the community. We also provide home-based services to adults that have not been able to be placed in group homes yet, and we help their family manage their benefits, coordinate staff to come into the home and work with them. And most of those individuals are on our waiting list that hope to live in our homes one day as well. We also have a day program, which is located in Wheeling, where 135 individuals go Monday through Friday during the day, and they have the opportunity to participate in either activity programs or paid work opportunities. It's pretty rare that we have a day program that offers paid work opportunities. Most agencies like Avenues have had to phase that out over the years, and that's actually one of the challenges that we're addressing in our strategic plan for the upcoming years, which I'll talk about in a second. We did just launch our strategic plan, and it goes from 2025 through 2027, and we're focused on 3 really key areas. First of which is with those work opportunities in our day program. Legislation passed in Illinois recently called the Dignity and Pay Act, which is related to sheltered workshops like Avenues has, where adults with developmental disabilities can go and do paid work and be paid by their rate of productivity. It's a vocational training program where people learn the skills to eventually get external employment. But like with many of our training programs, some are individuals, they enjoy that environment, they like working with their peers, and that's the environment they want to continue to work in. The Dignity and Pay Act will, as of the end of 2029, will no longer allow us to pay adults with developmental disabilities by their productivity level, which, for example, like if somebody does 50 units of a job in a day, they'd get paid the rate for those 50 units. If somebody else likes to pop back and forth between activities and talk with their friends and just do various things, maybe they only do 10, they will get paid for the 10 units. After 2029, we'll have to pay all our individuals minimum wage for every hour they're in the program. So a big part of our strategic plan is evolving that program to ensure that we can still provide minimum wage paid opportunities for those individuals who are most comfortable working in our day program and aren't necessarily comfortable or ready to pursue community-based employment. So we're going to continue to evolve our services to meet the needs of the individuals based on recent legislation that was passed. We're also working really hard to increase our community of support. Avenues has grown really significantly over the last 5 years. We went from about a $5.5 million budget to now a $10 million budget. So we want to continue to maintain the same mix of private and public funding. We receive funding from the state of Illinois to provide the services we do, but we really enhance those services and give our clients a great life in the community through the fundraising efforts that we do. So grants from our townships, private donor individuals, and private grant foundations. So we want to continue to grow those efforts to ensure that our ratio of public to private fundraising remains healthy and we're not vulnerable to funding changes or delays with the state of Illinois, which have occurred in the past. So it's important for us to continue to evolve there. And then the part of our plan that I'm most excited about, and I think has the biggest impact, and is the reason that I asked to increase our grant amount this year, is because over the next 3 years, we have a goal to bring 15 new residents into Avenues homes in Maine Township. So these would all be new residents of Maine Township, adults with developmental disabilities, many of which sit on waiting lists for a placement like this for 15, 20, sometimes even 30 years. There's currently 16,000 people on waiting lists in Illinois for placements like the ones I'm referring to, where adults with disabilities can live independently in a community-based group home with support from staff. So there's an immense need, and Avenues has an opportunity right now to help out 15 individuals over the next 3 years to get that opportunity to start their life in the community. We're off to a great start in our first year. As of October 1st, our 5th resident, so we hit our goal for the year, 5 for this year, will be moving into one of our group homes. So there's already 5 new people living in our homes, and they're just off to a great start. It's been really cool to see that happen. We haven't had growth like that in our residential program, literally ever. The most we ever moved in a year, organically, not like through the closure of a different program, would be 2 to 3. So really great, and our staff have embraced it and really made it work for the individuals moving in. So it's been very exciting. Coming out of residential, I experienced that impact, every day for 13 years, and so what a difference it makes. One of the most exciting things for me working in residential was we'd have intake meetings before the person moved in, and we talk with their family, and they tell us all this long list of things they have to help them with, and they can't do, and staff need to help them with. And then with our trained staff who are experienced in these areas, we would have a follow-up meeting 30 days later, and we'd have families like crying tears of joy, seeing that their loved one was now doing many of these things on their own or with limited staff support, and just see them blossom and develop social bonds with their housemates and peers in the community and neighbors. So it's a really huge area of impact, and something I'm really excited about it happens. Yeah, we've had really amazing, consistent support from Maine Township over the years, so I just want to express my gratitude for that, and happy to answer any questions that anyone may have.
I have a question. For the day program that's in Wheeling, do you provide any transportation for people from Maine Township so they can get to that location?
Yes, 5 days a week, to and from. We have several van runs that run back and forth.
Okay.
I'm curious what, I know it's a strategic goal, and so you're still working on it, but what plans are you considering for adapting your work program?
Yeah, so we're actually launching a minimum wage pilot program, and we're going to introduce automation to help make our clients more efficient. So the average rate of production compared to, so we have to do rate studies where we'll have like a staff who doesn't have any disabilities do the job. And that sets like the baseline rate. Like most people, us, myself included, work at about like 80 to 90% productivity each day. So then we compare that with the client's rate of activity as they work on the jobs. And most of them come in between 30 and 40%. So right now in that pilot unit, we have some of our top performers who work in maybe the 60 to 70% range. And that'll help us learn what changes we need to make, what we can adapt to make our less efficient workers work more efficiently through automation and introduction of machinery and automatic processes to help them work at a level that can support a minimum wage.
And what percent would you say are moving on to another, a job outside of avenues?
It's hard to say a percentage. It's probably 2 to 3 each year. And there's about 80 people working in that program. But that's another area that we're addressing in the plans, because we know that the ultimate goal for all of our clients is community employment. Like we want fully integrated employment for all of our people who are interested in that. So we're investing a lot in community employment too, adapting the way we approach that program, and trying to make more community partners that would be suitable jobs for our clients.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Can we?
Hello, how are y'all doing?
It's kind of hard to hear you.
Okay, I can speak up for you.
Okay.
Okay, sorry. I'm a theater major, I can project.
Okay.
I just want to ask y'all before I jump into my spiel, how many of you are familiar with Canyon and the work we do before I sort of talk your ear off about it? It's okay? Okay. Okay, that's okay, that's okay. You would be forgiven, we are a bit of a small niche organization. Introduce myself. Hi, my name is Miley, like Smiley. I am the grant manager at Canwin. I've been with Canwin for about 2 years, a little less. So yes, it is my job to sort of hype up our programs and services. So I'm happy to be here in Maine Township to do that with you today. It was a very quick drive for me, 7 minutes, because we are located here in Park Ridge. So a little bit about Cameron. Our mission is to eradicate domestic and sexual violence in our community through social services, leadership building, preventative education, youth leadership building, all centering survivors and their dignity. So I'm really happy that Wings was here actually, because we're a very close community with them as well. But what makes Cameron unique is our expertise and experience in serving survivors of domestic violence that do not primarily speak English. So the languages that we provide services in are Mongolian, Korean, Mandarin Chinese, Tagalog, and English. So it is an unfortunate truth that many survivors of domestic and sexual violence struggle to get help finding services and getting help with things like talking to law enforcement, legal aid, medical assistance, if they are struggling to navigate U.S. social systems without English proficiency. So we serve any survivor regardless of language ability, race, ethnicity, gender, anything like that. But as I said, our expertise is in providing culturally resonant and linguistically accessible services. According to some demographic data, Tagalog is actually the third most spoken language other than English in Maine Township. And Asian Americans are also the top 3 ethnic groups represented in Maine Township. As compassionate community leaders, I'm sure you can sort of empathize with the struggle of how frustrating it can be for survivors of domestic violence to find life-saving support to get out of a dangerous situation. As somebody who staffs our 24/7 multilingual hotline, I hear again and again and again, like the barriers that survivors are often faced with trying to get the help that they need. So maybe some of you can resonate with this. As a native English speaker, even trying to navigate like the fine print paperwork at the DMV is as confusing as navigating a document in a foreign language. So imagine if you didn't speak English and you're trying to get the support you need, if you were trying to communicate to a dispatcher this violence that you have witnessed or that you've experienced, when the adrenaline is making your voice shaky and your English stutter, like like calling 911 or knocking on a neighbor's door become near insurmountable tasks to a survivor seeking care. Cameron has proven that we can guide and support these survivors with survivor-centric, trauma-informed care to get them on the road to safety and well-being. And being located in Maine Township, we have been able to serve at least 71 individual survivors through our comprehensive case management and crisis intervention, amounting to hundreds of service hours involved in helping them escape a cycle of violence. Our programming includes holistic wraparound services, such as our transitional housing program for survivors who are escaping violence and need to find another home, economic empowerment services, so that survivors can learn if they've experienced financial abuse. They can learn how to navigate credit systems, going to the bank, and signing up for things like Social Security, which have sometimes been, as a result of the harm that they've experienced, has been not an avenue in which they can pursue. Again, as we are located in Maine Township, we continue to reach out to high schools and churches who we do advocacy work with. We work primarily with youth through our Youth Peer Advocate Leadership Program, our YPAL program, which serves high school students who are looking to learn about the foundations of domestic violence, teen dating violence, so that they can become educated and to educate others on things such as teen dating violence, healthy boundaries, and other sort of important topics related to domestic and sexual violence. We also host our Peer Advocate Leadership Program, which is for adults, of course, with a similar mission of training people who speak Mongolian, Korean, Tagalog, and Mandarin to become these first responders in their community. community, so that if they see and witness somebody who's experiencing violence, that they have the capacity and the tools to speak up, and provide resources as well. To sort of continue the work that we're doing, we are asking for your support. Much like Wings, you were so generous to increase our funding from last year. Thank you so much for that. So we are respectfully requesting a modest grant of $4,600 to support our multilingual domestic and sexual violence services. This request plays an important role because we have a very diverse grant portfolio of federal, state, and local grants, as well as private foundations. But support from townships is really crucial because of its sort of flexibility in serving survivors as their needs arise. So federal grants, for example, are very strict about what we can provide, very strict about the services, the kind of people, the kind of like transitional housing requirements that we can provide, as an example. Flexible funding allows for critical needs such as video doorbells, which may not, or like guarantee fees or rental fees that might not show up in like a federal government budget, but are very real needs of our survivors as they come up. Yeah, so support from the township was very integral in getting the needs of survivors met in crisis. I want to thank you for your attention tonight. And I'm happy to answer any questions and hype up my team if you have any things that you want to learn more about.
I had a question for you.
Yeah.
What's the correct way to say your last name, to pronounce it?
It's like when.
Vietnamese name, right?
Yes, like when is it? Or like,
It's always win, but sometimes people tell friends of mine, it's called we win. It's called win, right?
yes.
Like when.
Yeah, when is it? Win-win situation.
Okay.
A winner. Can
Just some
win.
investors down in Argyle.
Oh, Argyle, we're all
Some of the
over.
Vietnamese communities
Yes, yeah. Love it.
prevailing, let's say. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Glenn Kirk is up next. And then, people are waiting, we have some snacks or water back there, so just feel free to help yourself.
The cookies are really good. I believe the cookies are home baked. Did I hear that?
Yeah.
Oh, very nice. Hi, I'm Kim Berenberg. I'm the CEO of Glenkirk. Glenkirk is a Northbrook-based nonprofit that provides home and community-based services for individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities throughout the north and northwest suburbs. That includes group homes, day and employment training sites, a behavioral health clinic, and an in-home respite program. We are seeking support for our behavioral health clinic program and our respite program. The respite program provides services to any families in the township that have a child, whether they're child age or adult, with intellectual and developmental disabilities, and they're caring for them at home without any other supports. We can provide payment for their worker of their choice. We provide background checks and training to those workers. And it can be a huge relief to a parent caregiver who's caring 24/7 to have a break. Sometimes that's the difference between needing outside placement and not. So we really appreciate the township's history of supporting that program, which we work a lot to do outreach within the township, within the school systems, and that is costly. So we appreciate the support. Secondarily, our behavioral health clinic focuses on the therapy needs of those with intellectual and developmental disabilities, many of whom might be nonverbal. We provide music therapy, dance movement therapy, art therapy, and really focusing on social skills building and ameliorating symptoms so that people can stay in their community placements. And so we really appreciate the support for that program as well. Are there any questions about Glenkirk's application?
The past couple of years, your request for funding had gone down, and then this year it went back up to where it was previously. What's the reason for the change?
We are really pushing out marketing and outreach activities in Maine Township and actually beyond that. We are about to move into a new headquarters facility that has more physical capacity to provide increased behavioral health services as well as day program services. And so we are really trying to get the word out to families, and that does cost money.
Do you provide it, since you're not, like, you're a little bit farther from the township, just a little bit, but do you provide transportation or have any transportation services for people to go to your facility?
So within our day program services, transportation is included.
Okay.
One of the benefits of the behavioral health clinic model is that we often go to the family to provide those services so that they do not have to come to us. And for individuals, for example, somebody with autism that might have a lot of trouble with routines, coming to the home first and building a relationship can be really positive before we move out to asking them to come see us. But there's no transportation included in the behavioral health clinic model. We're typically the ones traveling.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much for your consideration and support.
Resources for community living.
Good evening, village trustees, supervisor, grant committee members. My name is Gus and Agnes Hopper. I am the financial director for Resources for Community Living. And I have been in this nonprofit world not even a year. This is my first time presenting anything like this, and my experience so far is that I am in awe on how much goodness there is in terms of services available to people in various communities and municipal money to fund them. So, excuse me if I'm a little bit nervous, but a little bit about RCL. So since 1988, RCL has existed to empower adults with developmental or physical disabilities to live independently within their own homes or apartments. We provide a broad spectrum of person-centered services, including the identification and helping them apply for housing options and coordinating the movement, the application, all those types of support services. Providing individualized life skills training, such as shopping, personal hygiene, cleaning of their residences, paying their bills, teaching them how to use transportation and sometimes providing transportation ourselves. Historically, they've put on a significant amount of social engagement opportunities for them to get them out of the house. Run family support groups. And we also coordinate referrals to external agencies and community-based resources. So through these kinds of supports, RCL promotes self-determination, dignity, and full community inclusion for adults with disabilities residing in Maine Township, among other municipalities. So although this might be very new to me, doing my research and preparing for this, I found out that there's been a partnership with Maine Township since 1997 based on the historical applications that I was able to go back and find. So that's a very long connection, you guys being able to support them, which I find phenomenal. What you may not be aware of, I don't know who presented for RCL last year, but RCL had significant financial troubles the past few years. And in 2024, it was actually rescued by merging with another non-for-profit called TLC Centers for Therapy out of Crystal Lake. And that process started in July with the infusion of cash just to keep them liquid, keep the social workers working with the clients, to buying out all of their real estate to effectively eliminate all of their mortgages so they didn't have to pay that. And a benefactor then ended up just buying everything out and contributing to help remodel the residence that some of our clients actually live in Palatine. So what are we doing here asking for funding? 100% of anything that we get from Maine Township is going to do nothing more than support the time that our social workers spend providing services to the clients of Maine Township. And I think there was an increase from previous years. The last 12 months, we've had 3 residents that have been directly supporting just under 200 hours. And that's just simply how the math was done based on the last 12 months. RCL is thriving again with the support that they've received in the rescue. And right after the remodel is done, we look to start placing some more clients that will become residents for us in our housing and continue getting more clients for us once everything restabilizes with that. But we want to take care of the 5 individuals that live in our building now, not all Maine Township clients. Before we start adding more individuals, because we currently have 2 social workers, and once that remodel is done, which is a significant investment and time-consuming, we're going to start expanding and kind of bring back RCL to what it was years and years ago. Is the hope. Any questions I can answer?
I have a question. This year, your application says that 3 unduplicated Maine Township clients were served. Last year's application, it was 5. And I asked this question at last year's funding hearing when the request was $4,000, but the amount actually spent on Maine Township clients during that fiscal year was less than that at $2,800. So I'm curious, from last year to this year, you're serving 2 fewer clients, but the total cost of services in your application states that it's $4,818 as opposed to $2,800 last year. So I'm curious what the difference is, and I realize this is a detailed question you might not have the answer to since you were here last year, but the other difference I'm curious to get an answer on is that the average cost of services to Maine Township clients in the current application is 3 times that of last year. It was about $500 last year, gone up to about $1,600. So I totally understand if you don't have the answer to that currently, but if that's something that you can look into and get back to us on, I appreciate it.
I actually feel pretty comfortable since I'm the one that does all the submissions to Ian there. Regardless of the number of clients, it's all based on the number of hours that we provide. So whether it's 3 clients, 1 client, 10 clients, the 200 hours is the 200 hours. That's how we pay our social workers and how they bring in their hours. So although the number of clients matters, I'm not going to say it doesn't, it's also a matter of how much time we have to spend servicing those clients. Some are just more needy than others. That's all. Is that good enough, or do you want me to bring some more research?
A little more detail would be good, just because the difference is just so great from last year to this year. If more granular information in terms of like what services they use for how many hours.
Absolutely.
That would be
Yeah.
all right. Thank you.
I'll code it and everything. Happy to bring it, and I'll just submit that information to Ian. Is that
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
okay? Wonderful. Great.
I have one as well. Do you happen to know what other townships contribute? I know you said you get $15,000 from other townships. You guys are in Palatine, is that right?
That's where the house is, yes, and we had offices in Rolling Meadows that were sold, and those funds are going to be used to fund the program, actually.
Do you
Yes.
know what those other townships are that contribute to help you guys out?
Yeah, 100%. I don't know if I can name them all, but I can tell you Arlington Heights is a big one. Palatine is another one, and there might be one more. But yeah, there are.
15,000. All right, thank you.
Do that.
All right, thanks.
I have a question about the legal services that you offer. It says that you have Polish, Ukrainian, and Russian. Is it the social workers that speak those languages, or is it other staff members?
It is actually the president of one of the companies that is one of the board members and benefactor for TLC Centers for Therapy. So he is from Poland and he speaks those languages, and when translation services are necessary, he or his wife actually volunteered to do that. Yeah.
There's no other questions?
Very good.
Thank you very
Thank you all
much.
for your time. Appreciate it.
Okay, NAMI is next, National Alliance on Mental Illness. Okay.
Hi, I'm Marcy Larson, and I am the Director of Marketing and Development for NAMI, Cook County North Suburban. I know we haven't been funded by the township in quite some time, so I'm going to ask the question, are most of you familiar with NAMI, or? Yeah, okay. Well, for those that are not, NAMI is the National Alliance of Mental Illness, and we provide free resources for those that are experiencing mental health challenges and their families. So free and resources are the key words here. We do not provide therapeutic services. So when you think about what we do provide, it's education. One of our, what we call our sticky program, or the programs that people say changes their lives, is called Family to Family. It's an 8 or 9 week curriculum-based program for families with adults experiencing mental health issues, and they learn how to deal with or support their child, how to approach insurance, those kind of things. That's one of the programs that we're asking for funding for. And it's one of our most impactful programs. We also have a new program that's called Peer to Peer, where people who've experienced mental health challenges are facilitating a similar type program, not for the parents, but for the actual person who suffered from the challenge. And so we're looking to get that off the ground. We just had our program director go through training, and we're kicking off that first program. We do a lot of work in the high schools with something called Gold Line Green, where we work with the social workers and mental health clubs. And we're in the school however they want us there. Sometimes it's at lunch, or sometimes it's in health class, and it culminates in an athletic event, basketball or football, where the kids can wear lime green and sign a banner and just really kind of show support. So, and then we have support groups for veterans, for families, in crisis, for grief. So that's what we do. We would use this money to establish a family in your area. All of Maine Township is smack dab in our service area. And we would also be looking to up our marketing. We do work a lot getting words out with libraries and the school system. And, but if we could, get some social media or some Google grants that are geotagged, those are the type of things that we would be doing. So with that, I'm going to open up to your questions and see what you're thinking.
So I just had one quick question. Under membership fees, there's a fee that says $2,500. Is that, what kind of fee is that?
So that's a NAMI national thing where you can become a member of NAMI Cook County. It's really nothing more than a person saying, I want to support. So it's a donation, really under the guise of membership is the way I would say it. But it's a program that's run by NAMI National that we subscribe to.
I was glad to see NAMI applying for funding again. I'm just curious, I know the last 4 years, NAMI didn't apply. Do you know why that was and why
I'm the fourth.
Applying this year?
I'm the fourth director of development in 4 years. I think that the organizations had trouble kind of coming back to what it was after the pandemic, and we're just rebuilding. My background is corporate marketing and 4.5 years in Illinois Holocaust Museum, so I'm coming from a pretty established, successful, not-for-profit, and bringing all of those best practices to NAMI. I just started in April.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Thank you so much.
Thank you. I really appreciate the support and the potential for helping us do our really good work.
Thank you. Thanks.
Youth Services, Glenview North. This is a new agency.
Yes, we're new.
Well, new to us.
Yes, we're new to applying here. So my name's Amy O'Leary. I'm the Executive Director of Youth Services.
My name is Whitney Medine. I am a Development Manager of Grants at Youth Services.
Yeah, so this is our first time here applying, respectfully applying for grant funds. In short, we have just been serving more Maine Township residents at our facility located in Glenview. While we are in Glenview, we have no geographic boundaries. As long as the need fits what we do and the programs that we provide, we will serve that child or that family. To give you a brief snapshot of who Youth Services is, we were founded in the 70s. We started as a drop-in center, and since that time have grown to become a true community-based youth mental health organization. We are definitely not an agency that's trying to be everything to everyone. We realize we're in a community that has a lot of great resources. We want to specialize in what we do well, which is kids and mental health, and refer out when the need falls outside of our scope. So if it's an eating disorder or an autism diagnosis or a substance abuse disorder, we'll refer out for that because there's organizations that specialize in just those things and do it very well. But if it's a kid who's chronically depressed, anxious, struggling with systemic issues at home, such as parental divorce, separation, peer pressure, academic stress, suicidal ideation, that is our specialty. So those are the kids that we see. I'd like to describe our programs falling into 4 different buckets. The first is the individual and group mental health counseling. We pride ourselves on having the lowest sliding scale in the northern suburbs of Chicago. It goes as low as $1 per session. We like clients to pay something because it places value and there's more of a buy-in on the service that we provide. But last year alone, we subsidized $500,000 in mental health scholarships for those families who just lacked coverage for specialized care. What else can I say about that? I guess another thing I think that makes especially our individual and group mental health counseling program unique is our activity-based model. So our facility was built years ago to incorporate that activity-based model. It houses a gym, music therapy room, play therapy space, sand tray room. We recently just put on a reconfiguration and a small addition because we are running out of space to put people, right? I think it goes without saying that there's a mental health crisis in this country, and we are doing everything we can to increase capacity in creative ways. We started partnering with schools so we could go in and see our clients during the school day, during a lunch hour or free period. We're not duplicating the school social workers' work, we're just providing our service at the school site. But ultimately, it came a time where we needed to increase our building footprint. We saw demand increasing years leading up to COVID. COVID hit, that demand increased exponentially, and we were faced with a wait list of 150 plus. So over the last 3 years, we embarked on an extensive capital campaign to raise funds to hire additional therapists. But with additional therapists, you need more space. So we also added space to our building. And thankfully, 6 months ago, we successfully moved back into our building. We were housed during construction at 6 different locations throughout Glenview and Northbrook, but now I'm happy to report we're back in and we have the capacity to do more. This second bucket of services is our after-school programming. So we see a very large Latino population, a growing Mongolian population. You see a lot of families moving from the city for the reputable school districts. They find lower cost housing, but then they struggle to assimilate into a predominantly white community. So there's 5 specific areas in Glenview, Northbrook, and Northfield that we target by providing after-school support. So we provide bus transportation by picking those kids up directly from school, busing them to our facility for an hour and a half of a therapeutic group, and then bus them directly home. So we eliminate that barrier of transportation, and that program is provided completely free of charge. So over the course of any given year, we probably serve close to 300 individuals just through our after-school programming, and those programs run over the summer as well. The third program that we provide is our crisis response program. So we contract with several local schools. Oftentimes, if they have a client or a student come in and say, you know what, I'm not feeling safe, I think I might hurt myself. Oftentimes it's, my friend just posted something on social media that's really concerning. The schools will call us. We'll go on site within an hour or less and provide a risk assessment to determine if that student is indeed actively suicidal. If they aren't, which thankfully is the majority of the time, right, but it's a cry for some additional support, we will use that as an opportunity to connect them to longer-term clinical care and counseling services. That may be us, that may not be, depending on what we feel the best fit is. But if they are found to be actively suicidal or homicidal, then we'll immediately send them to an inpatient program that we partner with. Obviously, parents are pulled in 100% of the time, and then we partner with the parents, the hospital providers, to provide that quality aftercare once that student is discharged. So last year alone, we provided about 50 risk assessments for students who are experiencing suicidal and/or homicidal ideation. In that last bucket, we do a lot of community education and outreach. So we go into local schools and we will do workshops on, you name it, puberty, sex ed, healthy relationships, setting boundaries, domestic violence, recognizing signs of suicide, depression, where to go to get help. So that is a very large program of ours that I think we had close to 8,000 individuals through that shared program this past year. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything else. There's so much to just say in such a short period of time. I think youth services is positioned now more than ever. It's a critical juncture for us as an organization, especially when it comes to mental health. We've done very little over the last few years to change programming. We just need to do more of what we're already doing because we provide the accessible mental health care that is interesting to kids because they're not coming to just sit in an office for an hour. They can go shoot hoops in the gym with their therapist, then go work on an art project, and then move to the sand tray room if they have some sensory issues. So we're just trying to do more of what we've already been doing. And we have been seeing more Maine Township residents. And so we did the numerical breakdown for the expense. So ultimately, we are asking the township to cover 25% of the total cost of what Maine Township residents bring to the table for us from an expense standpoint. So I'll stop there. Is there any questions?
That was my question.
Yep.
How did we come up with the figure 15,210?
Yep.
Exactly 25% of the spent of that.
That is exactly 25%. So we're saying we're serving 39 Maine Township residents, right? On average, we looked at data from past years. On average, those residents receive about 2 sessions a month. They typically last about 6 months. These are just averages, right? So there'll be some outliers. Multiply that by 130 because that is the cost of a full session reimbursed by a PPO insurance plan. That comes out to $60,840, and we divide that by 4, which gets you to your number.
Exactly 15,210. One of the only non-whole numbers in the whole, so thank you for looking at that. Jumped out at it.
All right, quick question. I know you said that you go to the schools for some of your programs, and you go into the schools and actually meet with the kids. Which schools in Maine Township do you do that at?
Let me take a look here. For on-site services at Maine Township, we currently are not contracted. We would love to be, because that just opens the window of the number of days, or hours a day that we can see kids. But that is something we are working on.
And then same thing for the after-school program, where you bus the kids. Are any of the schools for the after-school program in the township?
No, because those are 4 specific neighborhoods in
Okay.
Glenview, Northbrook, and Northfield. However, we do see a good portion of Maine Township kids in our Study Buddies program. So that runs every Wednesday. That's a tutoring and mentoring program. Kicks off next Wednesday. We have about 75 kids signed up. It's completely free of charge. And the neat thing about that program is you are matched with a teenage or adult-aged tutor, right? The students are elementary, middle school, and junior high, but you're matched with that same tutor throughout the course of the semester. So it really lends itself to more of a mentoring, big brothers, big sisters type program. And then we have volunteer groups, church groups, service groups come in and provide dinner for the first 15 minutes. Kids often come hungry, and then they get to work on their homework, and then can play a game for the last 15 minutes. But the Study Buddies is our most popular after-school program.
And are most of the kids from, because I know the name's Glenview, Northbrook, are most of the kids from the Glenview area who are from the township or from other parts of the township as well?
Other parts.
Other parts as well, okay.
Yeah.
And do you advertise in different parts of it? Like, how do kids find out about it if you don't live in those school districts?
So by partnering with the schools.
Okay.
So 9 times out of 10 when we are looking at our referral sources and that data, when somebody calls us, it's always through, 9 times out of 10 it's through a school social worker.
Okay.
So continuing to build those relationships with the school social work departments and doing outreach. And one way that's really helped us is our SHARE program by doing workshops in those schools. Then we can raise awareness of the other more intensive clinical services that we provide that are also available to their students.
I just had a quick question about the name. I was talking to someone a few years ago at your organization about the name and sort of the frustration between having Glenview and Northbrook in the name, but yet not having any geographical boundaries. I know in some of the applications it's referred to just as youth services. Are you still officially youth services of Glenview and Northbrook, or are you considering a name change?
Well, yes, that's the ongoing, good question. So we go by youth services. Legally, if you look at our tax exempt letter, it's youth services of Glenview Northbrook.
Okay.
So that is something that we are looking at in real time.
Thank you for clarifying.
Uh-huh.
Any other questions? Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I think on our schedule right now, we have a 10-minute break. So you're welcome to have snacks, water, and we'll get started again. The next one is peer services.
Hello there, I'm Ann Brown from Peer Services. I'm a development director. And this is Hannah Lodi, who is our Director of Finance and Operations. So I just want to begin by thanking Maine Township so much for your funding, which allows us to provide substance use treatment to low-income residents of the township. Peer is celebrating our 50th anniversary this year. 50 years of care for community members most in need of support, because low-income individuals have very few options for treatment, and most are experiencing a lot more challenges and trauma than just substance use disorders. We're proud to have sustained our commitment to providing treatment for all who need it, regardless of their income or insurance status, across these 50 years. And this is only possible because of funders like Maine Township. So the state reduced substance use treatment funding over the past 2 years. We were able to get some of that funding back in '25, but the funding for 2026, fiscal year 26, again, is lower. So we're in the position where for uninsured clients, we have a cap from the state. And so this private funding and local funding becomes becomes even more important to be able to provide services to all township residents and others who need the services. Residents of Maine Township participate in all of our treatment services. We have clients who are adolescents throughout the lifespan, and they participate in early intervention, substance use treatment, and medication-assisted recovery for adults with opioid use disorders. I wanted to share just a few stories about township residents that your funding supports, and names and identifying details have been changed. Marion is now in her late 60s. Like many, her journey with illicit substances began with childhood trauma, in her case sexual assault and other abuse. Despite this early trauma, she graduated from college and started a career. However, in her 20s, she began to use heroin, which provided some relief from her emotional distress. Very quickly, the life she had built fell apart, and she was incarcerated and cut off from her loved ones. She wanted to recover and tried many treatment options, but was not able to sustain her abstinence from drugs. During the pandemic, she came to PEER and was provided with compassionate trauma-informed care by the Medication-Assisted Recovery, or MAR team. 5 years later, she is fully abstinent from illicit opioids. She is also reconnected with her family and spends as much time as possible with her children and grandchildren. She has met all of her treatment goals and remains in MAR treatment to sustain her recovery, which means everything to her. About a quarter of our Maine Township residents are enrolled in our MAR treatment for opioid use. The rest are in other treatment programs for alcohol and other drugs. So one of those clients, Luis, came to PEER for alcohol use disorder following multiple DUIs and an arrest which required him to receive 75 hours of treatment. He had also recently he had a gunshot wound that put him into the hospital where he nearly died. He shared with me when I interviewed him last fall that he realized right then that he had wasted a lot of time being intoxicated instead of prioritizing his children or family. He described his mother wailing in the next room because she really thought he was going to die, and that was a real wake-up call for him that something needed to change. So he found PEER, and he joined our intensive outpatient program, a group that meets 9 hours per week. He joins most of the time via telehealth, which is great because it allows him to work. He lives at a pretty significant distance from our Evanston office. And then he also sometimes comes in person to PEER, and he's able to take the bus. We are across the street from Pace buses and other public transit. He completed his 75 hours of mandated treatment, and then he continued with PEER because he found the support so valuable to sustaining his recovery. He said, "The IOP group gives me a sense of purpose, a family environment where I feel not judged and like I'm not alone. Now I feel like every day is a blessing. I feel a lot better, and I want to make it to old age now." Your support allows PEER to provide high-quality, caring, and dignified treatment to these and many more Maine Township residents. Thank you.
Any questions?
Okay, well, thank you very much. If you do have questions, please let us know.
Thank you, Ann.
Thank you.
Jocelyn?
Good evening. My name is M.K. Barley Jenkins. I'm the Director of Institutional Giving at Jocelyn, and I prepared the application that you have. Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you this evening, and thank you for your long years of support of Jocelyn and for your service to Maine Township community. I know it takes a lot of time and energy to do what you all do, and just wanted to say I appreciate it. Jocelyn is a certified community mental health center with 6 locations. We have 7,500 clients, of whom 88% are low income. We continue to be a comprehensive outpatient provider of mental health services for low-income residents, with approximately 70% of our work being therapy, 20% psychiatric, which is really hard to find if you have Medicaid, and 10% is a combination of our other services, including employment support, intensive outpatient program for youth, and our intensive day camp for children with a mental health diagnosis. With your support, last year we provided 6,246 hours of mental health care to 264 township residents. 75% of those residents, or 198, are low income, meaning they are at or below the federal poverty line. 39%, 79 are under the age of 19. The township supports several area mental health providers. Jocelyn services are unique in that we offer psychiatric services, case management, and employment support as part of our comprehensive services. Over the last few years, residents seeking mental health care have increased, and their cases have become more complex, needing more service hours. Jocelyn has strategically and responsibly expanded to meet demand. Through our growth, we have retained our commitment to quality of care. We have maintained our supervisor ratio, and we've hired a chief compliance officer and a medical director to ensure this quality. And our medical director is also the chief of child and adolescent psychiatry at Rush University Medical Center. While the full cost to cover the services we provide to Maine is about $334,000, of course, we are not requesting that amount, and we are requesting level funding this year at $69,000. The hardest part of what I do isn't raising the money. It's that I can't bring you into a clinical office where one of our therapists is helping a client process a traumatic experience. I can't show you the work that we do with teens who may be contemplating suicide and that we show them that their life matters. And I can't show you how we coach clients with anxiety through the job interview process and their first days of work. But these moments are huge for our clients and your residents, and your support makes it possible. So thank you.
Question. Just curious, the past 3 years, the ask has been about $142,000, and this year the requested amount is $69,000. What's the difference in the request from last year to current year?
Well, it's been made clear to us that Maine Township doesn't have the resources to do those requests, so we're keeping our request level this year.
Anybody else have questions?
Pardon?
I asked if anybody else had questions, but I don't hear anything. Thank you so much.
Thank you for making cookies. As a baker, I know that it takes a lot of effort, so thank you.
You're welcome. Northwest Compass, please.
Thank you for having me tonight. My name is Allison Pittis. I'm with Northwest Compass. I'm actually the grant manager currently for Northwest Compass. If you're not familiar with what we do, we provide programs and services to people who are experiencing housing instability and homelessness, or some type of housing crisis. We are located in Mount Prospect, Illinois, but our service area is the entire northwest suburbs of Cook County. So it's a rather large service area. In our last fiscal year, we served just under 7,000 individuals throughout the service area, and about 980 of those individuals were from Maine Township. Some of the services that we're providing include homelessness diversion services, so helping people retain the housing that they currently have if they're in danger of losing their housing. Some limited financial assistance, we provide housing counseling, we have a food pantry on site, and we offer supportive wraparound services. We're finding that the demand is increasing as the cost of living is on the rise, and the options for affordable housing in this area for low to moderate income families are extremely limited. Maine Township has shown us a tremendous level of support over the years. We can always count on you. Last year, you gave us over $8,000, and this year we're requesting $10,000 to support clients located in Maine Township through our Helping Hands program and our HYPE program, which is our youth program that supports older youth, aged 18 to 24, who are unaccompanied and experiencing a housing crisis. Let's see. New this year in terms of our programming, we've added a new program, which is our workforce development program, which is kind of exciting for us to extend the services that we're providing by offering clients one-on-one career counseling and employment navigation to assist them with getting on a path to stability, finding a career, or maybe getting back to school, or figuring out what path works best for them so that they can ultimately get out of permanently get out of the system of relying on assistance programs. So thank you so much for having us. Actually, I also should mention that we are celebrating 40 years this year. Someone else mentioned a 50-year anniversary, so I just wanted to mention that we're going to be having a 40th anniversary gala coming up in November, so we'll make sure the township gets an invite for that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. If you have questions?
Just out of curiosity, where are your homes located? Kind of housing
We
opportunities?
do have several apartments. We have our permanent supportive housing is located in Des Plaines. We have an actual apartment building that we run and operate. We also have apartments in Wheeling, Arlington Heights, some in Palatine, and it kind of is ever shifting in terms of what is available.
Are they pretty much maxed out around like now?
We do struggle finding landlords that are going to work with our clients, but it's just a constant work in progress to find, someone that will work with us to get clients in, and it's tight, there's not a lot of options. Any other questions?
Thank you. Thank you. James, do you have a question?
No.
Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Arts of Life.
Hi, I'm Ann Colley with Arts of Life. And I'm moving the whole thing. So grateful to be here. We really appreciated receiving our first grant last year from Maine Township, and I'm excited to let you know what we've been up to. Arts of Life is celebrating our 25th anniversary. We've been supporting artists with intellectual and developmental disabilities for all of that time, but our program has certainly expanded. We started with one studio in the city of Chicago in Westtown. In 2010, we launched a studio in Glenview, and in the last 4 years, we've developed partnerships with art centers on the North Shore to provide more opportunities for artists to try different mediums, to work with their peers who don't have disabilities, to work collaboratively together, and to make the ease of commute a little bit easier for them. We currently support 80 artists, and these programs are developed through a process of collective decision making. So every artist participating in our programs has a voice and a vote in everything from party planning to strategic planning. So we give them the opportunity to tell us what it is that they most want for their careers. We do treat them as professional artists, so they can come in up to 5 days a week. They have their own workstations, and they are directing their art. We are there to support them. That does extend to physical sports if they need it, bathing, feeding, everything that might be required. But they are the leaders of their creative practices. And then we run a gallery called Circle Contemporary where we exhibit and sell their artwork. They receive 60% of all of the art sales. And that program has expanded beyond just our gallery to taking their work to international fairs. Most recently, they were in South Korea, they were in Japan, New York, Miami. A lot of that is forged through the connections that we help to nurture with the broader art community. We currently are supporting 4 Maine Township artists. They have the option to participate in any of those programs. So currently all 4 are attending the North Shore Studio, but some of them also add on some of those community programs if they want to test out a specific medium at the Highland Park Art Center or Evanston Art Center right now. A recent example of something a specific project that a Maine Township artist worked on was a public art project where artists could make their own kites, and then they all met up in the city along the lakefront and flew their kites together. It was a really beautiful communal experience where he was able to see his work alongside so many others. So we were really excited to be able to facilitate that, helping him make the kite and then also providing the transportation to get there and to be a part of it all. Arts of Life is funded 50% by fees for service as a licensed day program, and Medicaid funding is certainly uncertain right now. We don't know the exact ramifications for us, but it will impact our artists for sure in many respects. In the meantime, many of our federal funds are in limbo when it comes to the NEA and to other partners who are re-granting NEA funds, so we have seen those threatened in the upcoming year. We are hopeful that Maine Township can renew or increase your funding to help us maintain this programming for our artists in the upcoming year. Thank you.
Any questions?
I had a question. You guys are friendly with, they're one of your benefactors, Niles Chamber of Commerce, is that right?
Yes. We currently get funding from Northfield, New Trier, Niles, and Maine.
Do the artists at various mediums they look at?
Yeah, so we, it kind of runs the gamut. Painting, ceramics we now offer through our partnerships. Some write poetry inspired by their art or other artists' work. 3D mixed media, photography, yeah.
And how would, like potential artists in this area, how do you advertise or get the word out so that people know that this is something that's available near their community?
Yeah, so we are a licensed CDS, so we are listed on the state's website for families that are looking for resources, so we do get some there. A lot of it is word of mouth. We have strong relationships with certain SILAs, and so they know when case managers see that some of their clients have an artistic interest, they will help to make that connection, and a lot of it is families talking to families. And then we have kind of a graduated process where they can come in for 3 trial days to just get a feel. Our program does push artists to be as independent as they are able to be, and some folks have not been challenged in that way. They've been babied, honestly, a little bit. So we want to make sure that they feel good in the space. The community programs have been a really nice kind of entry point too, where they're not full-blown in the studio with 30 other artists at the same time working. So that has proved to be kind of a ramp, like an onboarding for them. And then we use a 90-day trial period where they come in and the artists all meet once a month in a studio meeting. And at each meeting, they have the opportunity to give feedback to the new prospective artist, and then the new artist can give feedback or ask questions as a way to like promote dialogue and encourage them to participate more or try new mediums or whatever it is. And then after 90 days, the artists all vote to accept a new artist into the program.
And where is the gallery?
Our gallery is located in our West Town studio right now. Yeah.
Can you see any of the art on your website? Do you ever like post people's the art?
Yeah. So last year we got this remarkable one-time grant of $200,000. So we were able to build an entire archiving system and space, and they cataloged. We had a contract team to catch up on 25 years of art making. It was 11,000 pieces of artwork that they cataloged. So it's all preserved and stored and then digitally archived as well. So you can go to circlecontemporary.org and see all of that work. And then each time we do an exhibition, we post the entire exhibition with photos of the art on display as well. And my favorite feature is that when you look at a piece of art and you think about buying it, there's a button where you can see it to scale in a room. So you can picture how it would look on your wall.
What's it called? Circle Contemporary?
Our gallery is called Circle Contemporary.
Circle Contemporary.
Yeah.
Are the artists all adults or are there young kids?
All adults. They're all exiting the transition schools that can be between 18 and 21. We have in the last year been piloting new partnerships with transition schools. So currently that's been in our Southside studio and our Westham studio, where transition students are coming in twice a week to work alongside our artists to see what a professional art career would look like for them. And we've seen one enrollment come out of that so far. So we're excited to keep exploring ways to bring students into community with our adults. Yeah, and as much as we can set up our artists as leaders, that is a goal as well. Great, thanks so much for your questions, appreciate it.
Miracle House.
Good evening. My name is Kathy Matusik. I'm the president of Miracle House. I'm very grateful to be here tonight and be able to speak with you. Miracle House was founded in 1994. We are a business that was created by women, run by women, to serve women. Our mission statement is we were created to provide temporary housing for alcoholic women recovering from the disease of alcoholism, to aid in their rehabilitation through the application of the principles of Alcoholics Anonymous. Our house can accommodate up to 5 residents. They are expected to obtain employment and pay rent weekly, and they are also required to follow our established rules and perform their assigned chores. We augment monies taken in addition to rent with regularly scheduled fundraising events. Our major events are our gala, which takes place in the spring, our garage sale takes place in the summer, and our fall fest, which obviously takes place in the fall, as well as monies that were collected from the weekly collections at our meetings.
How has the usage been this year? I know last year the numbers have gone up in terms of how many residents are able to serve. How are things this year?
With regard to usage, you mean, so in addition to just the cost of groceries and utilities, we've utilized the monies that we've received to maintain the general property. We've reglazed the windows upstairs. We've repaired and replaced the front and back porches at Miracle House, as well as repairs to the refrigerator and the stove in the kitchen.
I meant the usage in terms of the residents staying at the home.
Well, so we can accommodate 5 residents, but it all depends really how many residents stay. Because if they relapse, they're required to leave for at least 30 days, and then they can come back. But it depends on what they do, what they don't do. But I'd say on average we probably have about maybe 3 steady residents on average. Sometimes it's less, sometimes it's the full 5.
And my other question, just involved if there's any flexibility with clients who are receiving medication-assisted treatment. I know in the past that they were not allowed to stay there. Has that viewpoint changed or shifted at all?
So now I do accept patients that take Vivitrol. So that was one of the medications that we did not allow, and now we do allow that. As well as any, medications for, manic depression or anxiety, we do allow that as well.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. It's a positive change in my perspective.
Yes.
You currently work a little bit with Recovery Connection?
Yes.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully you can expand the partnership there, let's say?
We just, Recovery Connection, they assist us. They've donated food and materials for our events, and we advertise upcoming events, our flyers through their Facebook page, and they do announce our events at their weekly meetings. Yeah, Marty Cook's awesome. We love him.
I think he's mentioned before that it's especially hard to place women alcoholics with housing needs because there's fewer facilities.
Yes, that is correct.
He's not a woman, but he can help you out.
Yes, definitely.
He's not a woman, this is a woman-owned company.
Right.
Right, but he refers clients.
He can help them.
Yes.
Are the AA meetings that you offer 6 days a week for women only, or is that all time?
So Tuesdays and Wednesdays are women only, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, it's men and women. And our Sunday meeting is an open meeting, so non-alcoholics can attend if they want to attend to support a friend or a relative who's a resident. Or sometimes people just, they're not sure what, am I an alcoholic or not, so they can come and they can find out for themselves. Okay.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you very much.
Maryville Family Behavioral Health.
Good evening. Thank you all for having me, for allowing us to be here tonight to present to you all. I will start out with Maryville Behavioral Health Clinic is a community-based outpatient clinic that provides mental health and substance use services. We are located over at 701 Lee Street in Suite 100. We've been a part of the Niles community since 2014. And we've been so blessed by Niles to have been supporting our clinic since 2017, which allowed us to continue to support the community of Niles. Over the time that we've been providing services to now, we've seen our services increase dramatically over the last decade plus. This year alone, in FY25, we had 97 unduplicated clients for Maine Township alone, which we provided 1,005 individual sessions, individual and family sessions. Part of the way we view services is that it is a connected service between the provider, the client, and the client support group. And the way we introduce this to the clients is from the very first session as we talk about I will, you will, and we will. And what that actually means is that what I, as a provider, would do for you, we would make sure that you have a safe environment to be able to express yourself. You will be guaranteed and ensure your privacy. And the other part of that is what you will do. We want the client to be an active participant in his or her services. And when we're dealing with minors, we want the family to be involved or their support system to be involved with them. Because that builds a strong community and a stronger bond for that individual that is in recovery, whether it's in mental health or substance use, to have a support group with them. So that's the part that when we talk about what they would do. And part of what they would do would be an active participant. That when it comes to creating a treatment plan, when it comes to making the sessions on time, if they have to cancel a session, we know life happens, to reach our call within 24 hours. And that way we start that bonding and that trust build from there. The other part is what we would do together. We together meaning that the provider and the client, whoever they feel their support group, we would reach out to them and invite them into sessions when the client is willing to have that person come in. We understand that an individual is only as strong as his or her support group and those who are around them. And we feel as we can educate not only the client, but also their support group. And also we look at our responsibility as being a member of the Mounds community and this Plains community is also to educate the community about what substance use is and what mental health is. We hear these terms so often, and we hear people talk about what mental health is and what substance use is, but a lot of times people don't truly understand the difficulties it is and the work that the individual put in towards regaining his or her independence back from mental health or substance use. So we feel as part of our responsibility to the community is not only to serve the clients that come to 701 Lee Street, but for us to be outside of those four walls and that address to go out into the community and work with the community. And one of the ways we do that is through our Narcan training. We do community training across the landscape in this Plains, in Mounds. We've been at Mounds West High School and work with the administrators and with the students and provided Narcan training to them and provided them with the actual Narcan to take home with them. All of that is free of charge. We also have done events at the Dis Plains Library. We've participated in several community events, and part of that is just really getting out and to really talk about what substance use is. I think now we're in a space, which is great, I think, that we're in a space where people openly talking about it now. For so long, there's been this stigma around it as let's not talk about it, let's just be quiet about it, but we know people are struggling and dealing with it. And the more we can talk about it and make it just a general conversation, just like if someone is dealing with diabetes and going to see the endocrinologist and they say, hey, I have a doctor's appointment tomorrow, I'm going to see my endocrinologist. We see our buddy tomorrow and say, hey, you go to the doctor today? Yeah, I went, great job. But somewhere along the line, we have to start looking at behavioral health in that same eye. That if someone is saying that, oh, I have to go see my clinician, we should be encouraging them. And that's what we want to knock down those walls and open up that conversation by being part of the community and out in the community and outside of our clinic, but working with other providers as well as to get the word out. We view this as not only that Maryville Academy or the Family Behavioral Health Clinic is providing services. We look at ways that we can assist and help our partners in the community as well, whether they are providing behavioral health services or they are doing case management services, whatever it may be, because we look at it in a sense that not one agency can do everything. That it takes the community of providers to work together to be able to get the word out and work with families across the landscape. So that's my spiel. Let's open it up for questions. All right, thank you all. Have a great evening.
Thank you. Just on time. That was close.
Thank you.
You would have waited for me.
Good evening. That was perfect timing. Hello, I'm Karen Fay. I am the grants manager at the Center for Enriched Living. Thank you so much for having me here tonight. We've had a long-standing partnership with Maine Township, and we're very appreciative of the time today to share about CEL and just the overall partnership for the past many years. I've been with CEL for 9 years, and over that time, I've seen multiple changes and experiences that our members have been able to experience because of the program that we have. Our mission is simple, but powerful. We enrich the lives of youth and adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities by maximizing their opportunities for personal success, friendship, fun, employment, and community involvement. The need is urgent. Illinois is ranked 49th out of 50 in the nation for support services for people with intellectual and developmental disabilities. We are celebrating our 57th year of service. Those that attend our programming either lived in the community with their loved ones in residential homes, or they may even live independently. Last year, we served 420 individuals from about 50 different communities. Ages range from high school all the way into their 80s. Our beautiful building in Riverwoods offers a full-size gym, art studio, kitchen, program spaces, and a garden. As an organization, we receive less than 3% of our organizational budgets comes from state and federal government. This is why your support is so important. We run programs 7 days a week, basically 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. on site at our location in Riverwoods or in the community. Our programs address the 4 major challenges. The first is social isolation. We have over 60 social and recreational programs that build friendship and reduce loneliness. These types of programs are offered in the afternoon, evenings, and on the weekends. And they might include our summer camp, excursions in the community, art class, seasonal dances, and bowling on Monday evenings. The second challenge is that family space is what happens when high school ends at 22. Our Regional Day program and Catalyst Life Skills program offered during the day and work hours give young adults and adults purpose, skill building, and community. The third challenge that our programming addresses is employment. With over 83% unemployment rate for those with disabilities, our Employment Opportunities Program helps individuals gain skills and find meaningful jobs in their community. The last challenge our program addresses is the mental and behavioral health. Our Robert Behan Family Resource Center looks to support individuals and families through mental health and behavioral health supports. This past July, we started a new program. We launched an exciting new initiative called the NOR Project. This program joins CEL to bring disability, inclusive education and curriculum to schools, teaching empathy, friendship, inclusion from a young age. This program has been in existence for 10 years and is a nationwide program. This means CEL now supports people with disabilities from early childhood all the way to every stage of life. I want to share a few updates on Maine Township specific. This year, we have served 25 individuals from the township, and the previous year was 22. This year, the ages range from 21 years all the way to their 70s. We have served 15 individuals from Maine Township with our financial assistance program. We have individuals in every single program, from our day programs, Reach and Catalyst, to our employment program, to our summer camp, to our afternoon evening programs. Every program is represented through the township as well. Again, thank you for having me here today. I'd love to answer any questions you have.
Since you guys are in Riverwoods, do you provide any transportation for Maine Township residents to get to your program?
So we do have a fleet of vehicles, about 10 vehicles that we use once individuals come to programs. Individuals in the community arrive through their guardian, through PACE, through Uber, other means of transportations. We do have some programs that offer pickup and drop off for group homes, but that is only a few per week that we're able to offer that.
And then I know you said for the NORA project that it goes to different schools. Are any of those schools in Maine Township?
At this time, they are in Illinois, but they're not in Maine Township.
Okay.
That will be the process as we start, as we move forward, yes.
Any other questions?
Thank you very much for having me.
want me to go ahead and do a roll?
Yeah, just-
Okay, roll call. Supervisor Jones?
Yes.
Trustee Morgan?
Yes.
Trustee Connor?
Yes.
Trustee Lynn?
Yes.
Administrator Ricky?
Oh, I get to do it? Yes.
Never had to do it, sorry. Cool. Yeah. You want me to get everything else? No?
Marie wants to stay.
Sure.
Yes.
And me.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.